Blacktivities is a Black Panache original production, a podcast network with a lineup of Black-hosted shows sharing Black stories and tackling Black issues. For more information on shows like our newest production, Fat Lies Matter, visit blackpanache.com. Links are in the show notes.
Every name that DMX said on that song, keep us out of your mouth. Felicia, Keisha, Rashonda, all of us. Keep us out.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Lisa.
And you're listening to Blacktivities,
A celebration of all things Black.
Black culture, Black history,
Black perspectives, and Black panache.
Celebrating our Blackness doesn't mean exclusion.
Everybody's invited, but you gotta come in and have a seat.
So let the Blacktivities begin. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time you're listening. I'm Shannon, and these beautiful ladies are Mona Lisa the Poet and Karen, aka KK, my Blacktivities co-host. So I need to be real right now.
What's up?
I mean, like really real. So I think there's a double standard when it comes to Black women dating outside their race versus Black men.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I should say I have no issues with interracial dating, but Black men, why do y'all choose the most homely looking white women to get with? I said it.
Bro, I ain't trying to get counseled.
Where are all the bad white women? Like, if you're going to choose one, get a bad one. I'm just saying.
I ain't trying to get counseled, bro.
It had to be said.
Hi, let me put my disclaimer. So, any opinions of the Blacktivities podcast does not reflect on Mona Lisa the Poet's image. Shannon, I'll inbox you. We'll talk about it.
Anyway, so Black men, they date and they marry outside their race all the time. But I feel like when Black women do it, it's a problem. Or do y'all disagree with that?
No, I agree. There is some type of discrepancies that are thrown out there.
We're going to talk about it in a second. First, since this conversation is about to get real, I think we already started it out real, but we want to know what you guys think. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave us a comment. If you're on IG, go to @BlacktivitiesPod or DM us, comment on one of our posts. We're on Facebook too for the old souls like me. All those links are in the show notes, and we do like to read and talk about some of those comments on the show. I might get a few. KK, do you have a big fact for today?
Actually, I do.
Oh, she put the glasses on.
She did.
You know, because I can't see. I can't front.
Can we get the big facts?
Big facts.
There it is. So in 1967, there was the unanimous court decision to strike down laws banning marriage between individuals of different races, holding that these anti-miscegenation clauses violated both the due process and the equal protection clauses of the 14th Amendment. Currently, it is believed that a significant percentage of Black men marry white women. This is often cited as one of the causes of lower marriage rates among Black women. This, however, is only partially true. While Black men marry white women at twice the rate that Black women marry white men, in 2021, only 15% married Black men were married to non-Black women, which is unchanged from 2017, but up from 11% in 2010 and 8% in 2000. About 8% of married Black men were married to white women in 2021, and 4% were married to Hispanic women. There was evidence of an increase of Black men marrying outside of their racial demographic between 2010 and 2017. However, that percentage has remained steady since. In fact, the Pew Research Center released a report finding that 25% of Black male newlyweds in 2013 married non-Black women compared to 12% of Black women who married out. That's half. However, Asian women and Native Americans still have higher rates of interracial marriage. Black women were the least likely to marry non-Black men at only 7% in 2017, and only 4% of them were married to white men. Now, these numbers aren't simply a matter of love. They're the consequence of economic, political, and cultural factors. Just to list a few. Attitudes regarding interracial, while 72% of Black respondents said it would be fine with them if a family member chose to marry someone of another racial or ethnic group, 61% of whites and 63% of Hispanics said the same. More specifically, though, Americans aren't comfortable with specific kinds of intermarriage. A Pew survey found that acceptance of outmarriage to whites, 81%, was higher than the acceptance of outer marriage to Asians, which is 70%, Hispanics 73%, or Blacks at 66%. So we have the numbers of 7% of Black women, and it's not just Black, white, I imagine, but 12% rather of Black women, and then the 25% of Black men, but also too, the fact that when choosing, only 66% are choosing Black when it comes to interracial marriage.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot of information.
You can't go wrong with the percentages now. That's facts.
Yeah. So, why do you think that some Black men choose not to date Black women?
I'm gonna let KK go first on this one. She probably gonna say what I'm saying. I have my ideas, being that I have asked some Black men this question. But if KK, if you want to go first, I'll let you go first on this.
I've asked some men very close to me who responded that they weren't around Black women enough to date Black women, that they were none in their purview for them to date. And of course, I don't believe that. But I believe people have a choice. Now, we recently brought into our conversation being the standard. I also fell out with somebody about the fact that they believe that they would be higher on the totem pole in their career had they married a non-Black woman, particularly a white woman. And I was like, you're an idiot. If you think these people are happy about you marrying their daughters, you're an idiot. And if you think that's going to get you a promotion, you're an even bigger idiot. Your career or none of the things in your life that you benefit from should be contingent upon you not being able to marry who you wanted, if that's who you wanted. So that's where the conversation is. And I think that if you have a preference, state your preference. Just don't blame Black women. We're not the problem. Don't use us as your scapegoat. Just be honest and say, this is what I like. If you like it, then go for it. But if you choose to go that route, then just be sure you're not using us as a scapegoat. We've got enough going on and we don't need that added to the list of things that Black women have to face. And we don't need you and Becky talking about us. Y'all should have other things to talk about and consider. Like, how you gonna raise your kids? Will they be confused? What are you gonna, impart on them to make their lives easier? Keep our names out of your mouth. Every name that DMX said on that song, keep us out of your mouth. Felicia, Keisha, Rashonda, all of us, keep us out.
And this message was brought to you by Blacktivities podcast. I want to thank KK for saying exactly what I wanted to say professionally, because I do agree. The men that I have asked this question, and I'm going to be honest with you, when I was in the dating world, I asked. Like, I felt like this is something that we could talk about. When I was dating, I would ask, like, how do you feel about dating out of your race? Or have you ever dated outside of your race? How was that? Like, the reason I did that, some people may disagree, is just to see what their thought is, because that right there will tell them how they felt about Black women, women that are like them, women that are similar to their mothers and grandmothers and all of that. So it would kind of turn me off if they would say, well, I normally do date like whatever because black women, and I have had a guy say this, y'all tend to be loud, y'all just be doing too much. And I'm like, interesting. So I was like, well, what is doing too much? And the one thing they would say is communication. It was communication issues. Well, with this particular gentleman, I asked him if we can dive a little bit deeper, and he was like, yeah, let's dive a little bit deeper. But in his situation, it was because he had a lot of BS, and that previous relationship, she called him out on that BS, and he didn't like that. So he said that other, women outside of his race, unfortunately, they accepted that. So I'm just sitting here like, okay, check please. Because I mean, maybe it is that we do call them out or we are a little bit more up forth when it comes to, situation and drama and things of that nature. Now, don't get me wrong though. It's not just black women, but sometimes our reactions and our emotions do get the best of us. And it's not just black women. All women can tab some shit. Okay. Let's put that out there. It's not just black women.
Right.
But you can't say, like Jonathan Majors said, he want a Coretta Scott King to be behind him. You can't want a Coretta Scott King to be behind you, but be blind to the BS. The Coretta Scott King, if she's a ride or die, she gonna make sure that everything is built on a stable foundation and everything is in order. If it ain't in order, then how can we be who we be, king and queen, if it's built on bullshit?
Where is the church organ?
Right. So you want to ride or die, but you go look for it somewhere else and then get mad when you go somewhere else and they are not what you're looking for. Not to say that they can't be your ride or die, but then you can't want something similar to your grandmama when she don't even know how to make greens.
And that's the song, Greens and Cornbread.
Right, right, right. Again, if you have a preference, just say, yeah, you have that preference. And then we just leave it alone. Because I've dated outside of my race. I've tried it, and respectfully, it wasn't what I was looking for. And as weird as some people may say this is, but I had my dad there, and my dad gave me positive words of affirmation, and he told me what to expect. He talked to me, well, okay, when you get to a certain point, this is a standard that you should expect. You should expect him to open the door for you on your dates. You should expect for him to do this. Now, when it came to finances, I mean, yeah, and this is a topic that is really, really crazy now, where people saying they're gearing away from the man is supposed to take care of everything financially and everything is 50-50. Now, no, don't get me wrong. I'm one of those women where I'm okay with taking care of certain things around the house.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay with that. But something that I noticed, and not to put what I got on, because I don't like to put my personal out there, but it's something about a man that says, you know what? Put that away. I got this. Or
Yeah.
if he sees something broken around the house and he all of a sudden pull his toolbox out and start fixing it. I mean, I'm talking about he turned into Bob the Builder on you, and he a black man. Oh my God,
That's
baby!
beautiful.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
give me my laptop, give me my tablet. I'm finna buy this man some loafers. You heard me. But I think it's just about, I mean, it's okay to have a preference, but like Miss KK was saying, I mean, don't put it down towards black women, especially if you play a major part in why she act the way she act. Don't do that.
Own it.
Just own it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We say this in every episode, just about, it feels like, but we still are getting that angry black woman stereotype.
We ain't gonna be able to shake that.
Just because we don't take no mess, because we don't have time, we got stuff we got to take care of. That does not mean we are angry.
Right.
Right.
So let's say if you encounter a Caucasian woman who don't take no mess, do you label her as angry?
Right.
If there's an Asian woman who don't take no mess and call you out, is she labeled angry or have an attitude problem?
But is it really about us not taking anything. Because when I hear the whole, I'm allowed to be myself, yes, I feel like a Black woman will allow you to be yourself, but she's also going to call you to excellence.
Yeah.
She's also going to call you to
I like
level
that.
up.
Any good
And
woman
because
should.
that part,
Yes.
that part, because it's about legacy and
Mm-hmm.
excellence and king and queen. We say it on the show every episode. Kings and queens doing big things. Well, you can't leave me and you got skid marks. I'm gonna have a conversation with you about this problem. And she may not want to talk to you, and she may put up with that, but I'm not, because we about to be royalty and excellence up in here.
So you saying you can't be royalty if you got skid marks? I'm just
No.
asking.
Skid marks, delete the crown. They erase the crown every time.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Plus, certain things ain't happening if that hygiene ain't up to par. If you
That
don't
too.
use a rag, if you don't have two rags, we have things in our culture, in our community that are necessary for us. And I think we call people to excellence. We call our men and our children to excellence. And that's as it should be. And it doesn't always come out the softest tone, but I don't know if y'all have seen this hard wig, soft life. That shit is hilarious, because it really is about Black women who white men are attracted to. They got hard wigs. And so that makes them have a soft life, because they go in and they got all their needs met because they see you with that hard wig. Maybe Sheila was a hard wig. I don't know. But that hard wig.
Hold on. I go get Sheila right now out the closet. And I go stand outside in this 20-degree weather and watch her blow in the wind. Boom. Don't try me.
You said that white man like it. I figured maybe it was a little hard.
No. Because that's one thing. We don't do synthetic, boo.
But there is videos about hard wig, soft life, like when that girl was cheerleading and
I
her man
cannot.
came
I'm
up.
dead.
Woo.
I'm dead.
So, but that's part of this whole thing with these interracial relationships, and why we Black women, we are called to call our men to excellence. And if we cannot be excellent together, we should not be together. If you just want to sit around and you just want to do nothing and have somebody accept that, then fine. But most Black women are like, how can we build and grow this legacy that we have?
Okay, so question. Have y'all dated outside of your race?
Yes.
KK?
Girl,
Have you, come on. Have you dated outside your race?
I did 2 times,
Okay.
and I was not an adult. And when I did call myself dating as an adult, he was Dominican. That's
Okay.
a whole different thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then Shannon, if you don't mind sharing just a little synopsis, how was that dating outside of your race for you?
It was different culturally, I guess I could say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not opposed to it. I just
Mm-hmm.
we were not a match.
Mm-hmm.
Like personality wise, I think there were some differences.
Mm-hmm.
So that situation just
Okay.
that wasn't it.
Okay. Like I shared with y'all, my very first experience, he is one of my Facebook friends. I dated outside my race. He was my very first boyfriend. But again, we were not adults, like what KK said. And me being young at the time, I want to say this was like 8th grade, maybe. I didn't understand. All I know is this is somebody that I've known for a good little while. Based on how we interact at school, we liked each other to where we exchanged numbers. And again, back then we didn't have cell phones, so we had to do the home phone. We sit on the phone. But as I got older, I realized how toxic and crazy and negative it was. And y'all don't judge me. He could only call me, I couldn't call him. And I'll let y'all guess why.
I have some ideas.
Okay. So as older now, it's like, wow, I didn't realize that because I didn't have to like pay attention to, racial issues that big when I was younger. But now that I am older, I'm like, yo, that was wow. That was really, really wow. For me, I do agree it is about preference. It has nothing to do in my world. It has nothing to do with how he like the negativity that some and I say some black men put towards black women. I date black men, yes, because it's my preference, because that's what I'm attracted to, if that makes sense.
The entire world is attracted to black men.
Yes, yes. So that's what I'm attracted to. I mean, I may have found in the past a Caucasian man or, like you said, a Dominican man. I may have found them attractive, but it's just something about a black man because that's what I see. And that's what I see my dad and my granddad. And it does something to me. So that's my preference of dating. I do that, and I'm comfortably saying that it is my preference. And I don't have to say it's because white man can provide a better life or white man can do this or can do that. That ain't got shit to do with it. It's about my preference and what I'm attracted to and where I want to give my love to. And I can do that without downing anybody else because it has nothing
Precisely.
to do with that.
That part.
And I feel like some black men, like KK said, choose not to date black women because of this societal message that like white is right or
Mm-hmm.
like is a come up to be with a white woman, or really any other race other than black women because we're on the bottom of the totem pole.
And that's wild.
But I'm going to jump out here and say this. Do you think that in some cases it's because the black man doesn't like who he is?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh.
I think that has everything to do with it. Not everything to do. I think there's a big part of it. And I think there are things that black men feed into, I'm going to say knowingly or unknowingly in our society that are
Mm-hmm.
repressive. Patriarchy, I think some of the things that hold us down in the society, black men, and that's hard for me to say because I love my brothers, but I believe that there are some things that they feed into, and this toxic gender war that we're in
Mm-hmm.
is part of the issue as well. So I think that it is some self hate in there. Ours may manifest different than theirs, but I know that theirs does at times manifest that way. And I'm a Pan African nationalist and a Garveyite. So it's not something that I think about dating interracially. I never think about it. I am open to anybody dating whoever they want to, but I think about things like generational wealth. I think about what I feel is happening right now in order to perpetuate how the white race is lessening and more BIPOC or people of color are increasing where the white race is diminishing. And so I think that there's a strategy with all this propaganda where we're seeing certain types of black women with white men now on commercials, just like when it was started with all the black men in interracial relationships. This is propaganda that's happening, I believe, just like with the whole shooting down of Roe v. Wade to increase the white population and decrease the opportunity for abortion. This propaganda is also established to do that. So it is not my preference to do it. I do have a preference, but I also understand agenda. A marriage is a business agreement. You agree to go into business with that person. What other thing do you have in life that's supposed to be for you and your joy and your happiness that there's a legal document that you can barely get out of? Nothing other than marriage are you bound to in that particular way. Now, yeah, you can buy a car, you can buy a house, but a marriage, something that's not tangible, you can't touch it, yet you have an agreement binding you to that situation. So when you're bound to that situation with somebody, your race or not, you're bound to that. And if they're not your race and children come along, you got to think generationally. This is a business. You got to get a lawyer in most cases to dissolve that. It's about business and it's about generation after generation after generation. We don't think deep enough about it, in my opinion.
Ooh. She was digging deep, honey. Let me ask y'all. A while back, I posted some wedding photos, supposedly wedding photos. It was on the Blacktivities page. You can go on Facebook or Instagram, where it is an African American man and a Caucasian woman. And it looks as if the African American man is picking cotton or whatever in the fields, and he's chained up, and the white woman is walking behind him. And then they take a picture where she's freeing him from the chains, and then he kisses her, and then they're off to like she freed him. When I posted this, what was y'all opinion when you saw this? Like, who thought that this was a good idea? Well, there was nobody that was like, wait a minute, that might not be a good idea for y'all wedding announcement photos.
I think I responded and I said, no, ma'am.
Mm.
I don't know, like, who, I don't care how connected to the community you are. Who in their right mind, who does that?
Who even, let's say if it was fake. If somebody said, okay, Mona Lisa, I want you to act like you are picking cotton in the fields, and I, a white man, gonna come over and pick you up and put you across my back and save you. First of all, sir, how dare you ask me to do such shenanigans? First of all, I'm not portraying anything in that manner, okay? But if you love someone, how could, like, where does that show love? Like, I'm lost here. Why would you
That's
do
white
that?
saviorism is what that is. And people do get married under that context of white saviorism is a real thing. And so you have that. And I can tell you there was an instance, and there's even a video. There's a video, y'all got to watch it, but it's about white women saving black men. I promise you, it's on YouTube. You got to find it. And it's like I want to say it's like a music video or something. And I seen it a few years back, but it's a thing, protecting them from black women. Like they have to be protected from black women. And I know that this is about black women in interracial relationships, but I just wanted to share that based on your picture and the imagery.
No words.
Yeah, that blew my mind.
So why is it such a big deal? Black men do it all the time. Why is it such a big deal if a black woman chooses to date outside her race?
It's like they want to have, and again, I could be wrong. This is just my opinion. They want to have a thumb over us. Like we can't speak for ourselves. We have a voice for ourselves. We get to do what we want. We rule ourselves. And if we do something that's out of their criteria, what we should be, then that's the negative feedback. Like, oh, how dare she? You know how you a queen, you you need to have a king. Well, come be my king then, N word. Like what am I missing here? Like most importantly, I think that it's all about when you're dating someone, it's all about the vibe, right?
Yeah.
You got to make sure y'all matching. You got to make sure y'all are yin and yang and that it works. So I'm gonna say this nicely. If we not over there bothering you in your little situation, don't speak on what we got going on.
Right.
Don't do that. Because again, it's about that vibe. You have to make sure you have that energy and vibe. And that's what I go by because I believe that, love is love. I do believe that. And I don't judge anyone for who they get with, but I do judge people that are very opinionated, commenting on somebody else's yard when your backyard look a hot mess. That's the nice way to say it, Shannon.
I went on Reddit because I wanted to see what some people were saying about this. And I found a comment by someone named Twice a Day Clock that said, a black man marrying a white woman is kind of seen as taking the power back. A black woman with a white man is seen as continuing the white man taking over everything. So they said, obviously, this is an oversimplification, but that's what they heard from asking people. So a lot of the comments on this particular thread said it has to do with power dynamics of white men being at the top. And then there was somebody who said it's not just a black thing, like it happens within other races too. But there were some interesting comments on there. There was a guy who identified himself as being a white man, and he said he was dating a black woman. And like they went out to eat, and some black guy just came up that they didn't know and sat at their table.
See, that's disrespectful.
And did what? He ate? I don't
talk to
understand.
her about how she shouldn't be with him.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I was like, why don't you just sit down with no seats? Okay.
And I would have towed that whole damn restaurant up. Because that's disrespectful. Get out of people's business. If y'all
Yeah.
don't want us to be in your business, if y'all don't want us to comment on what y'all have going on, then don't worry about it. Stop looking at what other people are doing. If you were so caught up into making sure that we were continuing the generational building that foundation on making sure that we had enough people, then you would be with who you are with, but just don't do that. Don't just leave people alone. Let people date whoever they want to date. We don't say nothing about y'all, so don't say nothing about us. And that goes with other races too.
Well, I was just going to say, I believe the one drop rule is one drop of black blood. So those children are black. And the police, when they see them, are not going to say, oh, they're biracial, so I have to be half nice to them. It doesn't work that way. The children come out black, everybody getting locked up. And that's the conversations you need to be having. It is not a personal choice of mine for the reasons that I explained, but I believe that what we see when it comes to Black women has to do with exactly that. Man told you the truth. He said, because y'all are queens. What that speaks to is something that I've said before, which is we're the original woman. We're the original woman. So why would you have the original woman perpetuating something? And I'm just trying to, the devil don't need no advocate, right? But I'm just saying, if you look at it from that perspective, it's kind of like when people say, well, Black men are masculine naturally, so they should not be gay because it's weird to see a man be gay because he's supposed to be this and he's supposed to be strong and he's supposed to be that and not tapped into his feminine side ever. It's the same thing when you see that Black woman as a queen and as the original woman and as this. And if that's your perspective of how you see her versus she is a woman who needs to be nurtured, who needs to be cared for, who needs to just be free to be in her soft life and her womanness, then you would say, all right, the queen needs to feel like a queen versus the queen needs to have the whole queendom and kingdom on her shoulders. And I'm not saying a Black man can't give her that life, but she needs to go where the life she wants is available to her. I get concerned about generations and I do care about the culture. So it's important to me that that is first. It's business. And if you leave this earth, where does your money go? Where does your wealth go? Where does your insurance go? Where does your property go? Where do all these things go? Where do they go? Diana Ross, Eve, these women who are in these relationships. Eve was already successful. She married someone outside of her race. But when you think about the sister who was on that dating show, The Bachelorette, she's a Black woman. She married a white man who is tapping now on the I'm finna get your money door because now they're going through a divorce.
Wait, whoa, which one? Whoa, hold on. Let's pause. Which
Cutie, the
one?
little cutie that was
Cameron?
on,
The,
no, she's on a like extra or something like that. And she was on The Bachelorette. Black girl, super.
oh, okay. You know what? I was thinking because the guy name is Cameron. I was thinking the married that was it
Thinking of Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. Is it Love is
Yeah,
Blind?
I think she's a Bachelorette girl.
Oh,
I know
okay.
who you're talking about. I don't watch The Bachelorette, so I don't remember her name, but
I
I know.
just remember her being on a news show, gossip show or something, extra or something like that. I don't
Okay.
know her
Girl,
name.
you got me over here Googling, honey. I hope what's her name? Cameron, the dude named Cameron. I don't know the black girl name. They was on one of them shows, Love is Blind or
Yeah.
Married at First Sight, one of those. But they still together after all of these years, and that was before COVID.
Good.
So, but yeah.
Aren't they the Hamiltons?
Yeah, I think so. And they are
Lauren.
beautiful.
That's her name.
Lauren, they are beautiful together. They
Wait,
are.
what's her
Their
name?
energy matches.
Lauren and Cameron Hamilton, I believe. Is
Yes, that's them. Shout out to Lauren and Cameron. Y'all go ahead and do your thing, boo.
But yeah, that's what's happening. So guess what? Her mother won't get that. Her father won't get that. he'll get paid. He'll get possibly whatever home they had. Like, I don't know. But I know she was the one making the money. And as a result, guess what? Not saying that it can't happen to other people, but it's still outside of our community. And it goes back to the people who already have wealth, and she's paying him.
Mm.
Okay, Lisa.
Okay. Well, as much as I want to go in on especially the dudes that be like, oh, it's black women, y'all the problem. I'm not. I'm staying positive with my pieces like I want to do. As much as I want to say to y'all, I'm going to save it. All right, because y'all know where y'all can go. All right, here we go. This piece is called Love is Love. When you run your fingers through my hair, tell me what's your expectation. Straight through, like a train going 200 miles per hour in a tunnel. In and out quickly. Or are you giving patience? Major patience. Will you try again over and over, running your fingers through my coil strands? Though it may get caught up in drama and situations, and the shades could vary, each obstacle representing our acceptance in society. Are you accepting me? It doesn't matter, right? Because love is love. Thank you.
We gonna
Thank
get you some finger snaps, girl.
Yeah, that's what I want. Some finger snaps. You ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing, baby.
All right, ladies, it's time to call the culture. What is your call to action for the culture?
Call to action for the culture is mentally, y'all need to get yourself together before you start dating anyone. I want to say that. And then also stop looking over the fence at other people's situations. And if you are so serious about building our generation and making sure that generational wealth is something that is important, make sure that you are contributing to that topic as well. Okay?
KK.
My call to action is to remember that Black women's intentions are not bad. Yes, we want a soft life, but we also want it with you. And we may not say it, but many of us don't feed into the narrative that we want you, we need you. We need you, just not in the way of the past. And so we want you, and we need you, and we need to build with you. And that means calling each other to excellence. So don't let it turn you away. Let it turn you towards who we are together.
I like that.
My call to the culture is that we need to stay out of folks' business. If they love each other and they treat each other right, and one is blue and the other's purple, that's not my business. I'm also calling the culture to click that little plus in Apple Podcast
Hey.
or that subscribe button in YouTube, and then share this episode with somebody that you think would enjoy it. But until we meet again,
King and queens keep doing big things. Let's go.